The biggest concern of everyone when applying for a visa is its rejection. To understand why your visa may be rejected, you need to understand the visa eligibility. Hello and welcome to Edutrainex, your best buddy to guide for your visa applications. I am Nandini Vats, and today in this video, I will be telling you about 5 reasons why your Australia study visa may get rejected. So watch the video till the end to know about the frequently asked questions by most of the applicants and also what to do if an Australian study visa is rejected. But before proceeding further, first you should know what study visa is, right? So because the rules and regulations of Australia and eligibility for the student visa are very important in the reasons for your visa rejection. Watch it on our YouTube channel. I'll put the link in the description below. So the first reason why the study visa gets rejected is failure to meet academic qualification. To qualify for a student visa in Australia, you must complete the required academic level to study further. Now, this academic entry requirements will vary depending on the course you are taking, a level of education, and the university you have chosen. So, visa officers must be convinced that you will be able to cope with the current education system in Australia. Otherwise, they'll reject your visa. The next is failure to meet English requirements. If you are planning to study in Australia, you will have to speak English well. So, you must fulfill the English language requirements to obtain your student visa successfully. So, what you'll have to do is to provide documentation of an acceptable English language test score. PTE, IELTS and TOEFL scores are mainly considered proof of your English proficiency. So if you fail to impress Australian visa officers with your English language skills, then they might reject your visa.
With every passing day, more and more students are joining Edutrainex's highly successful PTE courses, which are very result-oriented yet inexpensive, which you can join from anywhere in the world and realize your dreams of studying or settling abroad. So if you're struggling with your English test requirements, join us today for guaranteed success.
Then comes insufficient funds. So in order to get your student visa approved, you have to show that you can sustain yourself financially in Australia during your studies. So if you're planning to get entry into Australia for your studies, then you will have to meet certain financial requirements. At present, students must show evidence of the amount of an annual living expenditure of around 20,000 Australian dollars. However, this can vary over time. So as a visa applicant, you will have to provide documents that prove your financial stability to survive in Australia during your studies. And if you fail to do so, you will have to face a visa rejection. And if you are depending on your deposit, you'll have to provide evidence of that. And if another person is funding your studies, you can also provide evidence of that relationship as well as the identity of the person providing the funds. If you have opted for an education loan to cover your tuition or living expenses, then you should provide evidence of the terms and the total amount of the loan that will be provided to you. Then comes lack of acceptable overseas student health cover. So friends, if you watch my videos on student visa, then you will get to know that it has been specifically stated to have health insurance. So as a student visa applicant, you must have overseas student health cover, which is also known as OSHC. So this will provide medical insurance in Australia and must cover the duration of your stay. So many Australian visa officers are strict on the insurance contracts they will allow as a part of your visa application. You must provide its proof during your Australia student visa application process, and if you fail to do so, then it might result in the rejection of your visa. And the last one is incomplete documents. Finally, when it comes to the failed visa department, one of the biggest reasons for failure is not getting your documents in order. So if you want to know what are the documents required for an Australia visa, then you can watch it on our YouTube channel. The link I'll put in the description below. Each document in your visa application process plays a very important role. You cannot afford to miss any of them, otherwise you will have to face visa rejection. So here are some of the common documents required according to the Department of Immigration and Border Protection checklist. However, there are other reasons too that can lead to rejection of your visa, like intentions behind going to Australia. You should be able to provide clarity on your purpose of studying in Australia when you will be applying for a student visa. So the visa officers are very strict on checking that you don't have any other purpose of visiting Australia, such as doing jobs or be willing to run a side business during your study tenure. Then, invalid or damaged passport. Your passport is the vital thing you should be careful with before you apply for a visa. If you submit a passport that is in bad shape, torn, damaged, or missing pages, there is a very high chance that your visa would be rejected by the embassy. Also, make sure that your passport is valid for at least 6 months with a minimum of 2 blank pages. And also, past criminal records. So having a criminal record is an important factor that may hinder your dream to study in Australia. Students at some time face visa denial even for minor incidents. So it does not matter how small your criminal record is, you need to disclose them in your application. So after knowing about the possible reasons for your visa rejection, the next question that comes is how to appeal a visa refusal in Australia. So for that, you will have to follow 2 steps. Apply at the Administrative Appeals Tribunal and pay the appeal fee. So if your visa application is denied, you have to appeal at the Administrative Appeals Tribunal, which is also known as AAT. The respective visa officer will send a written decision regarding your visa, and within the notice, you will have all the information regarding the deadline for appeal on how to appeal a visa refusal. You can either send a paper application or apply online at the official website of the AAT. Now, the appeal time will vary based on the reasons why your visa was rejected and the type of visa you have applied for. Keep in mind that the appeal time is very limited. You will have to submit the appeal letter for reconsideration of the visa decision within 28 days after the decision notice. So if you miss the last date, neither the immigration officer nor AAT can help you with the extension of the time limit. For reviewing the decision, you will have to pay an additional fee, which can cost you around 1,826 Australian dollars. So you may be eligible for a reduced fee of up to 50% if paying the full fee will cause you extreme financial difficulty. Applicants have to pay the fee before the deadline for sending an appeal request ends. If you are applying offline, make sure you do so before the deadline and pay the fee the same day you submit your application. Now, what are the chances of getting an Australia student visa after its refusal? See, it depends on what has been told and marked and why the visa was refused. If the reason the visa was refused was a technical error, for example, if you applied incorrectly or in the wrong category, then there are chances that you will get a visa again. Okay? But if you do not repeat the same errors. Now, if the refusal was due to lack of funds, criminal records, or health issues like that, the chances are very high that you will get rejected again. Now about the frequently asked questions by the applicants. So many of you ask if an Australian student visa get rejected. So obviously, if you fail to fulfill any of the requirements for the Australian student visa, then it is sure to get rejected. There can be various reasons for the rejection and all the reasons I already discussed in detail. Now, next is if you can apply for an Australian student visa after refusal. So it is definitely possible to apply for an Australian visa after refusal or to win your appeal. So even though you are allowed to reapply for the student visa immediately, it is my advice to prepare everything wisely before reapplying for the visa. Make sure to collect all the required supporting documents without fail for your next visa application. And do not repeat the same mistakes you did in your first application. So that is all about the reasons why your student visa can get rejected. I hope you will keep these points in mind when you will apply for the visa, right? And make sure not to make these mistakes. If you will have any further queries, you can contact us or ask in the comment section below. We will be happy to help. Thank you.